Well, hi, everyone. Welcome to the fifth episode of Digital Evolution. We have a double digital thing this morning. We had some changes in our schedule last week. So usually Brandy and I meet on the first and third Thursday of the month at 9 o'clock. But today we're meeting today because we screwed up last week. Actually,
Oh,
we had a
me.
well,
I did.
I screwed up because your fogginess made me foggy. If I was on the point, I would have been like, no, dude, we're meeting, right? So we're meeting a little off schedule this week, but we're here every first and third Thursday at 9 a.m. And what we're doing is we're talking about digital evolution. This is an entrepreneur's guide to evolving online. And what Brandy and I will be doing is giving you some value every week that you can take into your business, do it yourself, but also, maybe potentially reaching out and needing some assistance in ways that you wouldn't have understood well enough before without Brandy and I talking. So this week we're talking about big thinking for your online presence.
Yes.
And holy crap, it's hard to have big thinking right now during COVID. Can we just talk about what we were just talking about for just a second? Let's tell people, because everyone's having the same thing. So let's just call the spade a spade. What's happening for you with COVID and time?
Well, so my child was distance learning from home. So that was a whole circus in and of itself.
Right.
And then my husband continued to work, go to work. And then the gym's opened back up. And so I've been just kind of shuffling things around, trying to make sure I can still show up where I need to show up when I need to show up, and moving things around. And then, summer schedule. So his school actually ended last week, which is great. We don't have to have distance learning anymore. But now there's nothing to occupy him during the day.
Driving mom crazy when she's trying to meet with clients. That's his full-time job now.
Yes. So we found a couple of ways to deal, but we have a summer schedule that's taking us, out of the valley. So we're going to go see some family where he has cousins to play with, because this mom is not the best playmate.
I have always marveled at mothers. I always wanted to be one. I think that gives me a perspective on mothership. Mothership, is that the mothership?
I think it's mothership at this point.
That is, I'm in awe of mothers as I grow older at what it is that you guys do every day and run a business. So the COVID thing has just been, for you moms and dads, and especially single moms and dads, holy crapola, or parents that are away from family like you are.
Right. Yeah.
Who are working from home, either for their business or because they're being entrepreneurial from home. It's an adjustment.
And a continuous adjustment. I think it's one thing for human beings to have a change that then you settle into. What I found, and I've heard from other people, is particularly challenging with this, is that there's nothing to settle into. We close things down, we open things up, we change things, schools in, schools out. There's just things, we just have to be flexible.
And what's happening is it's creating a level of universal brain fog.
Yeah.
The most Googled thing is and people are going to listen to this for years later, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, they lived through COVID together. The most Googled thing during COVID, what day is it? Right?
Yes.
Literally wake up what's going on, and all of our schedules are moving and shifting, so we're all having to be flexible. And I found that I have a level of brain fog that I already had a lot of change happening in my life. I have new changes happening in my life. My dad passed. I'm managing my mom's finances. We're kind of working through what that looks like. New studio. It's a lot of newness happening right now for everybody, and so. What I do think is that people are being a lot more forgiving about being flexible, and I think that's a really good thing to note. You know what I mean? That this forgiveness for flexibility needs to be a universal thing.
I think this has reminded us to tap into our human kindness and our empathy, because this storm is pretty universal. Now we're all weathering it in different boats with different capabilities, but the storm is universal. And I think that can remind us about empathy and human kindness and just like, oh, right. Oh, like when my son had a doctor's appointment and they had to call and reschedule because the doctor was called to an emergency. And I could tell that the receptionist was used to somebody being really like gripey about that. I'm like, well, no, like if I was the one with the emergency, I would be so grateful. And so I'm just glad I'm not the one with the emergency. Totally. Let's reschedule. Not a problem.
100%. So I always want to draw attention to the fact that we once again have chosen similar headgear.
Yes.
This was not a plan. I did not have time to go out and get a hat again. I do have a unicorn thing, but I will wear that at some point. But today I didn't feel like a unicorn today. So I have hats in the house and have several hats of this genre. And I thought, well, that's a good solution. And when you and I came on, we're having a show today. I just was hysterical. I literally laughing as I was going through the hat. So we actually have matching hats on today. Now, do you actually wear that hat?
Yes.
Awesome. So that's what keeps the sun off of your head when you're gardening.
I don't garden. I try. I try to garden, and it does not go well every time.
A lovely yard to take care of now, and I'm super excited about gardening. And yesterday, I was I did 2 interviews for the Man and Woman of the Year for LLS.
Right. Yeah.
And on the in the first interview, I started to feel my nose like do that. Oh my God, it's going to happen. That allergy thing. And I kind of got through the first interview with a kind of a runny nose, but not really. On the second interview, I started to have a sneezing attack. I'm like, no, it's not COVID. I was raking. I swear. It's a very cruel joke that we're going through this. It's kind of comical, actually. I'm sure Saturday Night Live is going to have some type of skit about the allergy season this year and COVID.
Of course.
It's too funny. So today's show, okay, let's get back on track, right? So today's conversation is the perfect example of what it's been like to be in COVID. Squirrel. Okay, so we're talking about big picture thinking. And we are going to recap my brands a little bit. So we want to focus just because I have lots of brands. I'm going to very briefly tell people what those are. And then we're going to talk specifically about the job description for one of my brands.
That's right.
Okay. So I have an over company called Micalizzi Enterprises. That's the company where I do fitness coaching, business coaching. And it's the company that holds Relentless Talk Radio, which is one of my brands. And it also holds my Micalizzi Art and Fashion brand. So that's my over company. I have another brand called Choose Healthy Change, which focuses on health and fitness and nutrition. And that brand, I have an entire structure around with groups and happenings and events. It's all about getting healthier. So those 4 brands are the brands that I'm focusing on this year. And within each one of those brands, there's different initiatives. So for example, DigitalEvolution is a Relentless Talk Radio endeavor. And we are working on creating a subscription-based model that's called Go Digital Faster, more to be revealed later. That is going to be a conglomeration of this series plus the Video Lab plus a new series that I'm doing called the Photo Lab. So I have a lot of different things happening. I have multiple streams of income, but the brand that we're going to focus on today is Choose Healthy Change, because Choose Healthy Change is my lead revenue generator.
Okay. And so the reason that we had you do that is to this point, we've sort of done an inventory, right? We went through all the stuff you have, what websites, what domains, what email addresses, what social presence. We've done an inventory. Now, if we're going to start changing things, we want to make sure we understand very clearly what the role is of this brand for your business and what the role is of the online presence for that particular brand. Because an online presence is not like a flyer. It's not like something you print and then you go stick up places. It is more like hiring an employee. It has a lot of different functions it can be doing. And you want to know before you hire somebody, before you pay money, you write a job description. So it's the same thing. Like before you start investing into even your time, even if you're going to invest your time in changing things or setting up things, get clear on what the role, the function, and when you're clear about that, then you also can know what to measure to know if this employee is doing its job. So job description. So we're going to go into Choose Healthy Change and tell me about what is the role of the online presence for Choose Healthy Change. If you were to think about an employee, and maybe it's multiple employees, is it a receptionist? Is it a salesperson? Is it business development? What is the role of the online presence for Choose Healthy Change?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen so we can have people see.
Yep.
Close out some stuff so it feels less cluttered here for me. Oops. Make this real tiny. Okay. So let's see. Okay. Okay, so sorry, it's taking me a second to get there. So I'm going to go to my Facebook page first for Choose Healthy. So first, let's just say that I'm on my personal profile. I'm struggling with okay. So here's my personal profile, okay? And on my personal profile, it shows Relentless Talk Radio, Micalizzi Enterprises, and Choose Healthy Change, plus Micalizzi Art and Fashion, okay? So when you choose Healthy Change, it goes to my page, okay? And here on my page, what I share, okay, and I've had a bit of a lag this week in sharing, honestly, because I've been very busy kind of moving and doing stuff. But usually I'm sharing here once or twice a day about health and nutrition. I only share health and nutrition stuff here.
Okay, and so the role of this page is what?
The role of this page is to help people to be successful managing their health and finances.
Okay, so
if you look at my About page, it tells you about I'm a certified personal trainer, and that I have a commitment to health and fitness, and that this page is about lifting up and encourage others to discover their best and release themselves from physical and financial pain. That's what this page is about. I don't post anything else but that here.
Okay, so it's a little bit like a receptionist if someone's on Facebook and looking for you, they're going to find this. Yep. And it's also a little bit like an outbound, I would say like an outbound marketing team where you're sharing helpful information, a little bit like a content marketing team. You're sharing helpful information and just making sure that people can get the right type of information to move themselves forward.
Right.
Do you also sell things from your page?
I do, not from the page yet. Okay. My nutrition partner is Isagenix on this particular platform. Okay. But I have a website. Okay. That's very simple. It tells me what my mission is: to lift up and encourage others to discover their best, and in doing so, release themselves from physical and financial pain. And here is where I'll be posting events and things that you can do to get involved in that activity. I'm really wanting people to reach out and connect with me on this page. I don't want to put them in to buy my widget, because it may or may not be about buying my widget. Mm-hmm. If you're not a partner with me on some level for my Isagenix business, then you might be a partner for personal training. You might be a partner for other things. So this is a very simple site that I put together just to get people to connect with me.
Okay, so far we've got a Facebook page and a website, and their role is to, when I say receptionist, it's kind of when somebody hears about you and they go looking for you, this is the things that they will find online. So it's a little bit like a receptionist in that way. So it needs to be consistent. And then it is like a community builder, and that you're trying to like help them connect with information that will be helpful to them, and then see if there's some other people that you can connect them to, or some other resources you can connect them. So it's community building and receptionist. Okay.
Yeah. And I decided not to have it be about any specific partner because it may or may not be about that partner.
Well, and I think much like when I talk to clients about online presence and building websites, I'm not talking about a particular platform. I'm not like WordPress or Squarespace or like, because
Right.
needs change and we want to make sure that the person gets the resource for their need. But the fact that they need to market their business, the fact that they need to be online, for you, the fact that they want something different than they have today, and the fact that they want to lead a healthier life, that doesn't change. How they execute it at what point might.
So once I've had a conversation with people, I do have a specific site on Isogenics that I can send them to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not leading with hi, I'm an Isogenics consultant, please buy my widget, because you may or may not be the right fit for Isogenics. And I don't want to turn people off by having it be all product based. It really is about the concept of changing your life.
Well, I think it's not that you don't want to turn people off. It's that you really are trying to build a community and a movement around being healthier.
Yep.
One of the ways, like if somebody comes to you like, yep, I want to be healthier, and then it makes sense, then the Isogenics site is really a salesperson, right?
Yeah,
like once
exactly.
you qualify them, and if they're the right fit, then the Isogenics site is a salesperson.
100%. And I think that sometimes in network marketing, people lead with their network marketing organization. And I think it works for some people, you know what I mean? But I just think that the network marketing gets a bad rap because it's all about the widget. And to me, it's not about the widget at all. Happens to be that I found a partner that helps me to achieve my goals for people, which is to help them be healthier and help them be financially fit. But I don't want to lead with that, because I think sometimes when you lead with I'm an Arbonne person, or I'm a this, or I'm a that, people automatically have preconceived notions about what that means. And you want to actually have a conversation with people first to see if they're a fit for that particular solution.
Well, and really it's not about the execution for you. It's about the movement. It's about the community. It's about the movement.
Right. 100%.
Okay. So then now you're clear about, okay, the Facebook and the Choose Healthy Change site are about consistency. Michelle's showing up in this role the same way all the places, and community building gives me information why I would engage. I would follow her here because I'm going to get more information. And then
I have an Instagram account too, but I'm not. I am posting there, but it's not my lead social media outlet right now. Right now, my Facebook presence is stronger, so I'm building there, and then I'm also building Isogenics or Instagram in the background.
Right. So how would you measure? How would you know if these things are doing their job? Well, from your Facebook page and your Choose Healthy Change website, you would be looking for traffic to them. You would be looking for followers, and then you would be looking for engagement, knowing that people are commenting or sharing or liking your content means that you're giving them things that is interesting to them, right?
Yep. Well, and there's another way that I measure. I share on my personal page about health and fitness, but I don't share specifically about any particular thing, whether it's promoting a trainer or promoting Isogenics or promoting any other partner that I'm working with, a chiropractor or whatever. I talk about my feelings about health and fitness. I share my experience with health and fitness. And from my shares on my personal profile, I might be able to ascertain that I have a prospect for Choose Healthy Change, and that allows me to have conversations. So it's a combination of utilizing my personal profile to build relationships, and then having some place to send them so that they can tap into more information about that. And then I also have groups within Choose Healthy Change that focus on a challenge or focus on if you're a user or if you're a business builder. So I have groups and I have messenger streams. So I have a whole structure behind the scenes. But as far as the outside world is concerned, really, I think at this stage in this part of my business that I'm growing, it's all about building awareness that I'm doing it, and building relationships, and building the numbers, and then consistently sharing, which is all about what you and I are talking about this year, is how am I going to get all these brands doing their jobs effectively? And in the beginning, it's creating it, building it, creating structure, and then just creating consistency.
Yes. And consistent isn't constant. Consistent, and that's Stacey Harris said that consistent is more than just showing up all the time. That's not necessarily consistent. Consistent is that what you just said about how you use your profile. You use your profile to talk about your perception, feelings, thoughts about these particular topics. That seems like the perfect use for a Facebook profile. And then if they want more information or details about that particular topic, then that's how the page and the groups support them.
Right.
So you've built a container for your community, a resource for them. And the way that you are showing up and engaging them, piquing interest and building awareness is by being you.
Yeah.
Bringing all of your thoughts and feelings. Yeah, makes perfect sense.
I also have a group on Relentless Talk Radio called the Relentless Talk Radio Health and Fitness Group. And that group, I am sometimes sharing about some initiatives that are Choose Healthy Change related that are not specific to product sales. So maybe I'm telling people about a yoga class I'm teaching, and I'm doing that live on Choose Healthy Change. But in that group, I'm building relationships with other health and fitness professionals that are offering different things. So I'm sharing their stuff there and creating a conversation there. I've been inviting people to that group. It grows every day. And my plan with that group is to offer, just a lot of value as far as health and fitness is concerned, not just for myself, but from other people too. And so I've been kind of consistently kind of building that and plan on giving more and more attention to that group as time goes on.
And because you're clear about each one of your brands, it was clear that you would create that under Relentless Talk Radio because it involves other voices.
Exactly.
Relentless Talk Radio is about other voices.
100%. Because in Relentless Talk Radio, it actually says in that group, this is not a sales group. This is a relationship group. This is all about the user getting content. It's about creating relationships. It's not about me selling my widget or anybody else selling their widget. So what I share there is, free or low cost opportunities that people can take advantage of, and just thoughts and specific, I might do this. I do a squat or share my Choose Healthy Change yoga class there. And I share other trainers and classes there as well. And as time goes on, one of the things that we're doing together in the background is I'm creating an Airtable where I know every day what my posting structure is, because I have so many brands doing different things. And I need to get real clear, and I'm very clear about what they're all doing now, which is awesome. But now it's when I have my Airtable set up and I got to figure out, okay, I've got a structure. And now Monday I'm posting this, Tuesday I'm posting that, Wednesday I'm posting this group, that thing, that as messenger. So this is one of those pieces that fits in there.
Yes. But the decisions get so much easier, and the overwhelm can just sink down when you have those big picture, when you've done the big picture thinking, when you said, okay, here's my framework, here's how each brand works.
Yeah.
And I think the crossover for the Relentless Talk Radio Health and Wellness Group, that is a crossover of two things that you do. Where does it belong? Oh, well, I'm going to feature other voices. So it belongs under Relentless Talk Radio. When you have thought these things through and made these decisions, then every decision that follows after that becomes easier because you know the role and the function. And certainly it might evolve over time, but it's not. It actually. I mean, it does evolve over time.
This story is about evolution. Literally, the word evolution is 100%. I have digitally evolved. When I first started my company almost 7 years ago now, as purely a consulting company. And this year I took on Coach with Mick. Coach with Mick is me doing business coaching just with fitness professionals. That's not under the Choose Healthy Change umbrella because it's not specific to one product. And it's not under the Relentless Talk Radio umbrella because it's under Micalizzi Enterprises because it's a coaching project.
Right.
So I have a whole initiative that I'm doing with I have a lead page that I created in MailChimp. But it is a crossover because one of the things that I'm doing with those coaches is potentially tap into Choose Healthy Change. So
right. And so I think this is also a place where entrepreneurs tend to have a lot of ideas, right? And many of us are multifaceted. I mean, this is one of the things that I struggled with when I was growing my business is, yes, I do websites. I understand how things come together from a technical perspective. And somebody came to me with sort of a big mess. And I was like, oh, well, this is the problem. And here's how to do it. And here's how, like, that's part of me. Also, I love technology and using tools and systems to really amp up efficiency and effectiveness. I love that too. And I do marketing and I do strategy. And I really like speaking and helping people get it clear.
That's why we get along so well. But I think what I love about you is that you're very specific. Like, I'm specific about my brands.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a lot of things that you're doing and it's all over the place and it doesn't interconnect, then you're doing too many things.
And I think there's a careful balance of sometimes, though it took me embracing one thing for a while and getting that going to see how everything else connected in.
Yep.
And so sometimes you lead with one thing. And I think that the challenge when it comes to marketing is that we are only human beings, and trying to understand what someone else is doing, we have a gnat's attention span. Like if I don't get it right in a second, I'm never going to get it.
Right.
So that's when we go to communicate to other people about what we do, we either do one of two things. Either we're like, I'm a blah, 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 and people are like, I don't know. Or we make up words that mean nothing to other people. And so I think that there is a sweet spot in the middle. That you don't have to divorce yourself from all of the things that you do. But you can find your way. And for me, it was embracing one thing and getting really clear around that. And then I was like, oh, I see the thread. For you, you've been firing on all cylinders, but now you see very clearly how they stand alone and how they interrelate and how the thing goes over. But that clarity came with some time.
It totally did. And it continues to get more and more clear. I prune every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I also am very careful about, I know who my lead revenue generators are. But I also know that sometimes an initiative will pop in there that just is important for me to take advantage of, like with my my Replacing Ruby series.
Right.
Okay. This is important to pop it in there because it happened, it was able to happen this past week. But what I did last year was I as opposed to saying to myself, I'm a radio talk show host, and I'm a health coach, and I'm a business coach, and I'm a painter, and I said, well, what is it that all those things have in common? What I do is I have it on a mission to lift up and encourage others to discover their best. And I do that in a variety of ways. Relentless Talk Radio is my hub, where I focus on health and fitness, art and fashion, entrepreneurism, and philanthropy. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how I make that happen is in many different ways and is in many different, very clearly thought out brands. But it always comes down to, I'm on a mission to lift up and encourage others to discover their best. Period.
Yep. So you got really clear about your why, and then that helped everything come into focus. So if we want to tie this all back into what we were talking about today, what is the why of your online presence? Like when you get really clear about the function and why you're doing it, decisions get easier. You see how everything fits in. It just is more clear and it feels less overwhelming. I think the overwhelm and the comes when we don't know.
I think it's been interesting to say, okay, like my lead generator is Choose Healthy Change. But I also have a lot of opportunity with Relentless Talk Radio to earn income. And at the beginning of COVID, I thought I was going to offer multiple special editions. And in the process of working with you and Scotty, we decided to prune that down to 3 special editions. And those 3 special editions are becoming a subscription site called Go Digital Faster.
Right.
Because that makes sense with everything that I'm doing. But also, we all agreed that we wanted to create something that earned residual income that was and gave mad value, that wasn't going to be trading time for money every day.
Right. Right.
So rather than do special editions, which is trading time for money, as I was thinking it through, I thought, okay, I'm going to narrow this part down.
Mm-hmm.
So as I've developed and grown, there's things I've learned to say no to, because they are mostly time consuming. And I've learned to pull the plug fast on some things. I pulled the plug on something last week.
Yeah. Well, and prioritization. I think early in my business, I was like, well, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. And that actually isn't true. When I get clear about what I want and I can prioritize, I equate it to like spinning plates.
Yeah.
So if we want all these plates to spin, we can't try spinning them all at once.
Right.
We have to get one spinning and going and established. And then we can start spinning the second one and then just touch the first one and start spinning the second one. So I think a lot of that's like getting business going is that prioritization means I choose something to get started and get established. And then it can be running while I do the next thing.
And sometimes like I've stopped spinning my art plate for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that it's gone away. It's still
you didn't break it. You didn't throw it away. You just put it down for a minute.
And put the stick up against the wall and put the plate on the shelf for a second. But it's there because right now the plates that I'm spinning are Relentless Talk Radio, Choose Healthy Change, and the initiatives that I'm building under those two things within the Micalizzi Enterprises umbrella. So I'm really building 3 things right now: Relentless Talk Radio, the special series that are under Relentless Talk Radio, and Choose Healthy Change.
Yeah. So prioritization helps, getting clear helps, and just being big picture, the big thinking for your online presence is, what is this role? Why do I have this? What is the job function? And then on the other side of that is, how do I know if it's performing? Because sometimes we go in thinking one thing and it turns out to be another thing, or we go in thinking one thing and it's not that thing. We have to change. That's why measuring, that's why having clarity on the role and then measuring on the other side is so important, because if it's not doing the thing, then maybe it should do something else.
Right. So we'll be talking about measurement in a different episode.
Yes.
Good. So
for sure.
You are like, well, how the hell do I do that? Come back again.
We only have so much time in every episode.
Say it again.
We only have so much time in every episode.
I'm trying to keep these to a half an hour, and your head almost just blew off just listening to my story. So we want to do one thing at a time that we're doing. And today what we're doing is reviewing my brands and talking about the job description of one specific brand, but also within the realm of my other brands, giving you an idea. I think that polypreneurship is more, because of COVID, more so than ever, people realize they cannot have all their eggs in one basket.
Multiple income streams, I think, is definitely something. But just the idea that you can embrace, when you embrace all of your facets, that's really your unique value proposition. Your UVP is perspective. So yes, I am a marketing strategist. We build websites. I do lots of speaking on using tiny tech hacks and how to work less and all those things. Embracing all of those things means that my perspective is completely unique. Like, you can there's tons of marketing strategists. There's a million people who can build you a website. The reason you would choose me is because of all of my facets.
Well, and see, that's, I think, also one of the things I became really clear of when I was running my just purely doing consulting. Someone said to me in a networking appointment, Michelle, you're a utility player. And I went, yeah, I am. Every good sports team needs a utility player that can play several different positions. And when I was only doing consulting, you were basically hiring a utility player. They could come in and do marketing or operations or whatever. But over time, what happened was I created my own projects. So I became my own utility player. And I think you have too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's a cool thing.
And then I try to get myself out of some of those seats.
100%. Well, and one of the things that I'm doing around creating structure is to be able to delegate. I've gotten very comfortable with using Trello because I want to be able to hand off a Trello project to an admin and say, I want you to do this, this, and this. I'm creating an Airtable so I can hire some social media freelancers to help me with my social media. I'm creating tools that, taking this very complex thing that fits together perfectly when you sit down and listen to the whole thing, right? But people aren't going to know my whole thing. Some people might know me as just a health and wellness person. Some people might know me as the radio person. But everyone's going to know I've got high energy and that I'm lifting up and encouraging others to do their best. Everyone's going to know that. So next week we're going to be on, and the next time we meet is on June 4th. I cannot believe it's June. It was just Christmas. And we'll be talking about creating a plan.
Yes. Yes. So once you have job descriptions, like we just talked about,
Yeah.
then you can create a clear prioritized plan to match each job description. So we'll be talking about what that looks like when you have something existing and what that might look like if you are just creating something new.
Yeah, 100%. So we also promised that we would give people a tool and we didn't discuss this in advance. So you probably surprised me. But I put you on the spot. We forgot to discuss this, but we did promise you we give a value, a tool or an application at the end. Is there any tool or application you can think of off the top of your head that would be of value to people today? I'm telling you because we did actually put some.
Well, you discussed Airtable, and I think we may have mentioned Airtable here before. Airtable is kind of like a Excel spreadsheet on steroids, in that you can look at it with many different views. So a couple of ways that we've used, so you're obviously using Airtable to start organizing your social. We've used Airtable to do art inventory for a client. We've used Airtable to do a social calendar for a client where we needed to have multiple channels with multiple postings and then give the client a calendar so that they knew when to go live and what they were talking about. We've also used Airtable to organize our internal tools and also sort of a CMS for our strategic partners. So Airtable is a utility player in that way.
I'm using a combination of three things. Mm-hmm. I'm using Trello for my project management. So you and I have a Trello, a board where we're putting in our to-dos and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I'm using Penny for my CRM. And I'm using Airtable for my social media marketing and isogenic specific communication structure. Yep. So over marketing, my blog and my newsletter are being organized there. And the reason why I'm putting that in Airtable is because I like the social media platform in Airtable to be able to manage multiple pages and multiple groups and multiple messenger streams in one place. And then I have my communication structure, which is a template for my Choose Healthy Change users, my Choose Healthy Change business builders, and my Coach with Mick clients. So this way, all of these things that sound like there's a lot going on from the outside when I say it out loud, it really isn't. I have, 4 brands that are functioning in a very specific way. There's a lot of moving parts, but they all move together. And as long as I stay organized about how they connect, they will make sense.
Right.
And they will make sense over time because people will say, oh, okay, so she's got this health and fitness thing that she does. And she's helping, most people aren't gonna know that I'm coaching fitness people behind the scenes. That won't be a lead with me.
Right.
Hopefully. They'll know I have a health and fitness thing. They'll know that I have a business thing. They know that I have a Relentless Talk Radio thing, but they don't know all the little pieces. I'm managing little pieces in Airtable, Trello, and Penny.
Yes. Yes. And I use Asana for our project manager. So if you're I think foundational for businesses, like if you don't already have a project manager, you get one, find one, because there's not a problem with keeping your to-do list on a piece of paper until you need somebody else to help you with it.
100%. And also, for me, when I'm in my Trello, I have, I'm looking at my boards right now. I have 15 boards. Mm-hmm. So I've got 15 boards in Trello. I have 3, in Airtable, I have 3 categories. Within those categories, I have 6 micro areas, right? So and then when I'm using Penny to manage my prospecting and my client management, my client relationships, in those inside Penny, I've got different categories of who I'm prospecting and why I'm prospecting them. So if I had to have all of that just in my head, then I would get lost, especially with how complicated my pieces are. I have to have a project management tool to keep myself and the people that I'm partnering with on track. You and I use it every day. We sit down and we go through, okay, here's where we were. We have our notes in there. We have our assets in there. And I'm looking forward to doing a little maybe talking with you about Airtable and make sure I'm setting it up correctly so that we can.
Yeah. Because I think that's the other thing about tools. Tools can be amazing. It's all in how you're using them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if somebody highly recommends something and you go in and you're like, oh, I don't, we are humans after all. So if you're not going to use it, then don't.
One of those things for me. I had used Asana initially, and then I just found that my brain liked Trello better. And you know, I can use both. I have some people that use Asana. I'm part of their projects, but I had to choose because you can't have both for your stuff. You got to have it in one place. So I think that we've gotten a lot covered today. We've gone for 40 minutes. We could talk for flipping ever because we're both uber geeks, right? Look at our hats. It's so funny. So on the first and third Thursday next week, we'll be talking about, once again, looking back to my Trello board, we'll be talking about making a plan. And we'll be here for about a half an hour, 40 minutes every, you know, first and third Thursday at 9 o'clock until the end of the year. And then we'll be sharing a lot more with you about digital, go digital faster. We'll be combining the DigitalEvolution video lab and photo lab experts and helping you to go digitally faster. If you'd like to meet with Brandy and I to discuss your digital evolution, you can go to meetwithmick.com and you can create a free consultation appointment under DigitalEvolution, and Brandy and I will both meet with you and see how we can help. So
awesome.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Brandy. I think it's a riot that we keep on picking the same hat. I get such pleasure out of having us be, you know, the same. That's so cool, right?
Well, it's hot here today, so this is the look.
100%, right? Well, happy Thursday. And we got the mixed up schedule fixed, and we'll have all this will go to YouTube relentlesstalkradio.com later on this afternoon or tomorrow.
Awesome.
Cool. Take care. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week for Digital Evolution. Will actually happen again next week. So that's the way it works. All right, guys, have a good rest of your day, and we will talk to you soon.